This is my 2016 WRX that I got from Coupe. I've been going through it and fixing all the problems it has. I got it back together and it starts right up, but then it immediately dies. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. So today I'm going to try something else to see if I can find a vacuum leak. I've seen people have success with spraying water around the engine on the various vacuum hoses to see if the idle changes when the water hits. And in that location, you'll start to search for a vacuum leak or a loose hose. So I'm gonna try the same thing. I'm gonna use that sprayer, but first I'm gonna try it with the mass airflow sensor hooked up, because I did disconnect, clean a few things. Maybe it'll wake up, but I'm not optimistic about that. And of course, since I drained the fluid to replace the EGR valve, I will have to bleed the coolant again. Okay, the obligatory, let's just check. Okay, as expected. So I've disconnected the mass airflow sensor, and I'm going to monitor the live data to see if anything catches my eye. Okay, here goes nothing. I sprayed on the bottom where the turbo inlet is, no change. Spraying around the intake manifold and no change in idle. All right, I am still stumped, but I do have a wiring diagram, and I can check to make sure that there's continuity between this side of the mass airflow sensor connector and the side that goes into the computer. I really think it should read 0, and if it's referencing something other than ground, that could cause it to be reacting to a bad signal. So I'm gonna unplug this and check the continuity. So using the diagram and the pinout, I'm testing from the end of the mass airflow sensor connector to where it goes into the ECM. So signal has continuity. Let's see if the ground has continuity. So the ground or negative in the connector is good as well. So from the mass airflow sensor to the computer, I have continuity. The fact that the signal may be referencing something else to measure the voltage might be the issue. I just got to figure out where the issue is. So I have spent a lot of time looking at wiring diagrams and trying to convince myself that the negative terminal on this harness actually is grounded to somewhere on the chassis. So I came out here and I was going to follow some of the troubleshooting instructions that are in the field service manual. And I was like, well, this lead is still connected. I have one terminal connected to the negative battery terminal, and I go to test it, and there is continuity between the negative on this connector and the negative on the battery terminal. So I don't know if it's intermittent or not. So I'm going to wiggle this connector and see if it comes and goes. Seems pretty consistent. I was thinking that was the reason why I was not getting 0 when there was 0 flow through the mass airflow sensor. So I'm going to plug it up again and see if something has changed. While troubleshooting this car, I've kind of gone a bit crazy. I convinced myself that it wasn't getting grounded properly, so I tried to trace the wiring harness from here all the way down here into there. I pulled this out. I had the blower motor out, and I was trying to trace the wire, but I did not find anything that looked out of the ordinary. And a recent experience I had at a auto shop has led me to just look over everything I have touched one more time. I even looked at old footage that I had for videos to see if there was something I'd missed, and I didn't find anything. Thankfully, the camera angles and lighting were really good for me to see exactly what I did. So the saga continues. I really believe I forgot something. Or alternatively, the mass airflow sensor wasn't plugged up and I just didn't catch it. I put everything in the interior back together that I took apart, and I'm just going to put everything back together and start fresh as if I'm encountering this car with this issue. So I put everything back together, stepped away for a while, took a break, and decided to come back the next day. The WRX is still doing the same start-stop thing that it has been. And today what I'm going to look into is the oil control valves. There's one there and one there. That's the intake one, and that is the exhaust one. And they vary the cam timing. I cleaned off the top one, but I'm going to take the connector off the bottom one and clean it off as well. And they have matching ones on both sides. So this is the driver's side, and there they are on the passenger side. I actually decided to take them all off and clean them all. That way I could see if there were any differences. All right, there we go. I'm going to take this one off with a 10 M&M. Dadgummit. Side note, I believe that from side to side, the exhaust ones are the same and the intake ones are the same. But I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong if you know better, I don't think you can swap top to bottom or intake to exhaust. All right, and this one is off. Just gonna clean it off. The outside is not that important, but the inside is, and I think that needs to move freely. So I'm gonna put this one back in. I need to get a scan tool that'll show me the duty cycles of these, but as of right now, I do not have one. And this is the passenger side. So the exhaust on the passenger side has been replaced before. This one might have been replaced before too, but this looks like the other two I've taken off. This is the newer one. Reinstall the ones on the passenger side. Reconnect them right quick. While I'm sure it's something simple, I'm going to take a break from it and turn my attention to the bumper and the fender that I got painted. I'm going to install them along with some other parts that I got to see if I can get everything to line back up. Because if you remember, there was front end body damage. If you'd like to follow along, hit subscribe. If you would like to see the other work I've done to this car, check out the playlist. Thanks for watching. Take care.